From the Sidewalk Theatre in the heart of Wollongong, it's Love Love with your host, Sam Bowden.
Thank you so much for being here. Wollongong on a cold Sunday evening. I really appreciate you guys coming out. Thank you very much. Give us a cheer if you saw the last episode of last month with. Oh, look, they're return guests. We love it. Awesome. You get so much fun to see all you guys people here in this little basement. Certainly wearing a hat indoors, underground at night time. Fuck the moon. I respect that. Some of the bison to the cheese conspiracy theory. Now, if you've been here before, you will understand that the goal of last month with is in the name. We are trying to cover everything that has happened in the last month. It is an arduous task because I'm not sure how you guys feel, but I feel like the last month has just been in keeping with the theme of like the news just keeps getting worse and faster. Do you know what I mean? Like a little while ago, a mate of mine just said to me, we're out having a beer, and he just goes, holy shit, they bombed Iran. And I was like, yeah, man, if I got bombed, I would have done the same thing. And we're off, man. Topical. No, it's been hectic, right? It's like Albanese is currently in China trying to smooth over tensions with apparently an ally. The British government are blaming a genocide on an Irish hip-hop trio, and I've just changed medicinal marijuana providers. We've all got shit going on. It's crazy. By the way, there are two things I want to bring up at the start of this show, which I will extrapolate on how to get through this churn of a news cycle that we are all having to deal with. First tip, medicinal marijuana. Okay? It's not a coincidence that the news is getting worse at the same rate people suddenly have glaucoma is going up. Okay? If you don't have a weed script, I highly recommend you get one. It's easy as piss. Even if weed doesn't agree with you, be the change you want to see in the world. Get the script, sell it to your friends. Okay? Go down to the uni, mark it up by 20% on our week. Come on, fix that now. It works well for me, right? Because I'm very anxious. The news makes me very anxious. I don't know if I have an actual anxiety disorder or I'm a woke liberal lefty cuck. It depends if you ask my doctor or my dad's group chat. That's what I got the script for, right? Because I do what I think a lot of us do, and I just ruminate on stuff that I can't possibly control. And the weed, it picks up those thoughts and it just puts them in a nicer spot, right? Because I just spend my day just being like, fuck, man. My generation's been priced out of the housing market. I'm never going to be able to afford to own a home. Do we even want to own a home? Is property inherently theft, or is that just a sign I saw at a vegan cafe? Man, how do you be anti-foreign investment but not racist? That one's complicated. We've passed the tipping point of climate change. What's the world going to look like in 40 years? That's no place to raise a kid. Do we even want to have a kid? Can I have a kid? Oh, I should get my cum tested. And everyone's willing to eat the rich, but no one's willing to buy the cutlery. And even if we do murder all the billionaires, their wealth is tied up in projected market share, so the moment they die, the security of the stock price will tank because it's a rigged fucking game. The whole economy will collapse, but I've got to do something, man. I've got to be the change I want to see in the world.
Oh, dude. It's called sand because it's between the sea and the land. Fuck. Oh. Marijuana is a gateway drug. Yeah, a gateway to realizing you could put nachos in a sandwich. Let's fucking go. I don't know. That would be my first tip. That's my first tip. Is it just sort of makes everything a little calmer because everything is moving so fast now, and it feels like this generational run we've been on in the last 6 years of just fucking shit. Like, I swear if we turned on the news tomorrow and they were like, we have discovered a flesh-eating bacteria that is turning people into zombies, a la The Walking Dead, the entire world would just be like, sure, fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Why not? Like, yeah, of course. Of course this would happen. Of course. 100%. This is exactly what was next. Maybe I'll turn it into a positive like we did COVID. I'll get into intermittent fasting. There's something very mindful about running for your life. I won't have to deal with the AI algorithm. It would be lovely to not know what Bonnie Blue is doing every minute of every fucking day. Do you know what I mean? I do want to talk about Bonnie Blue for a second. Because, first off, I am sick of the news treating her like she's not a porn star. Does this make sense? Yes, okay, cool. By the way, no shade on porn stars at all. Thank you so much for your service. I really appreciate it. You guys rule. There have been so many potential future Nobel Prize winning laureates that I have wasted to that content, okay? No shade on that at all. I'm just sick of the news covering her like she's a diplomat. Does that make sense? Like she's a like she's a diplomat, if you will. Like she's a politician. Just an MP. It stands for massive pussy. I just don't. No, I'm just sort of like, because she did this really interesting thing where she's like, I'm going to bring what we do into the news. Like, I read that she had sex with 1,000 men in 24 hours on news.com.au. Can you let that sink in for a second? And you know the article, what was underneath that? It was 200 dead in IDF bombing at Gaza aid station. No, I can't, no, separate. Those are separate things. All right, that'd be like splicing military drone footage from the Ukraine into a Pornhub video, okay? It's not fair. My brain's in two different places. You know, if you're just perusing Angela White or Daisy Taylor or Danny Ice, I'm a man with a varied palate, right? And you're mid-gangbang, and then all of a sudden there's just a clip of Slomensk getting carpet bombed. You're like, no! Point the dick away from the dying children! Hey, some of this material hasn't been tested, just FYI. Speaking of coming, I'll tell this one last thing and then we'll move on. I'm not sure if you guys obviously have been following the big news in the last week and a half particularly, but I feel like there's been a very unsatisfying end to something that we've been following for like 7 years. So if I can take you guys back to about 2017, 2018, I'm not sure if you all had that one friend that I did that was maybe just a bit too deep into Reddit or 4chan, and he would say these crazy things like, man, the world is run by a cabal of international pedophiles. And we went, that's crazy. And then we discovered a cabal of international pedophiles. And then the head international pedophile, Jeff, he went to jail. And in jail, Jeff killed himself miraculously while the security camera footage was down and the guards were asleep. Weirder things have happened, okay? All right, fair enough. He killed himself because he was guilty, and he knew he was guilty, and there was a paper trail to prove it. Then, one of Jeff's big friends became president of the United States, which, let's be honest, the whole world, okay? And then that guy said, no, there's no paper trail or evidence at all, implying that the guy killed himself because he couldn't be charged with anything. And then last week, a reporter went, hey, what about Jeff? And he went, are we still talking about this creep? It's like, yeah, we're still talking about this creep. You definitely a pedophile president? Can you do what every single one of your predecessors has done and put some effort into the cover-up? For the love of God. Please. Please just put a little bit of effort in it. You're a pedophile. Bill Clinton was a pedophile. Reagan and JFK were rapists. George W. Bush is a war criminal. And Joe Biden will go around sniffing the necks of 12-year-old girls, okay? You're in good company. You're fitting right in. Do the cover-up well. I have one more tip for you. We're going to start the show in a second. I have one more tip for you to make the news go down smoother, okay? So this is my tip. Wherever you get your news, everywhere has its own little spin version. You know, there's no such thing as impartiality anymore. But I would like to recommend to you a news source by the BBC. And the BBC have a news source called BBC News Pidgin. Are we aware of what Pidgin English is? Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Pidgin English is a derivative of the English language spoken mostly by people who, shall we say, have had English inflicted upon them. And it is a mix of local dialects and English itself. It is its own language. It's very impressive. But if you are a native English speaker, it's just English, but with some real fucking riz. And it just makes the news go down so smooth. So, Instagram is the place I get it from. We can talk all about the Elon Musk fiasco all we want. And if you look at Elon Musk, you go, world richest man Elon Musk announced launch of any new political party. You're like, okay, yeah, that might seem like a typo. But if you give him time to cook, Elon now one of Trump's key financial backers. We have spent $250 million to help him regain office after the election. He appointed him to lead the Department of Government Efficiency where they cut the federal budget. Honestly, I grant it. Look, I'm going to level with you. I don't know whether this is racist or not, but it is making my life just a little bit nicer to be like, oh shit, Elon and Trump fallout start when e-commerce de-administration for Trump. Ah, brother, one. Also, if I may, BBC News Pigeon has done this incredible thing where they break up serious news stories with like proverbs. So BBC News Pigeon predominantly covers Africa, and the proverbs are better than all of the proverbs we have. I feel like Australia doesn't have any proverbs. We just have people in business that are like, you've got to read Sun Tzu's Art of War, mate. Because for some reason that correlates. I don't understand how that correlates, how a high-flying CEO can just read a chapter of Sun Tzu and be like, oh, hide the cavalry in the bushes. I'm going to go long on Goldman Sachs. Do you know what I mean? I might put Patricia in the cupboard for this meeting. So they mix regular news. So, for example, we have here U.S. State Department sacked more than 1,000 people sick, or President Trump able to reduce federal workforce. Unemployment, miserable. But then, who told no day hide for market? What does that mean, Africa? I love it. I highly recommend it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we have an absolutely incredible show for you tonight. We have a fantastic special guest comedian, a fantastic special guest for our interview, which I'm very, very excited to have. But before we do that, we have some mail that I have to answer, and I'm very excited for this. Unfortunately, the mail comes from the last show, and I didn't host the last show, so I am going to do my best. Woo! Thank you. Harry, can you describe your experiences as a Korean comedian? Well, it's been very hard. Initially, obviously, a lot of my family are back in a major Korean city. But I have found audiences in this country to be very welcoming. I am, after all, a naturalized. What initially got you into drawing comics, Harry Jun? Just had a way with it, really. Just really good. I'm sure it's got something to do with manga. I don't know. Not sure. Big fan of your work, especially on the show ABC Gamer. Tell us more about it. The ABC Gamer it's a show about gaming on Australia's communist media platform. It's a show about gaming. It's very good. I am very prolific at games. I love games, all of them. Switch, PlayStation, Sudoku. It's my favorite. I should clarify, that last one was actually really hard for me because I am not a big gamer. Like, my partner's getting me into games, and I feel like I'm getting left behind because I'm like, dude, I fucking played Mancala last week because I couldn't figure out how to do Claire Obscura Expedition 33. Ladies and gentlemen, all right, we are going to cut to a short break, and we are going to be back with another segment. Thank you very much. We'll see you guys soon. This is called Comedian Love Doctor. We've had people write in with their love problems. Some of them are ridiculous. And who better to help me sort this out than fellow comedian and actual girlfriend, Michelle Azevedo. A round of applause for Michelle Azevedo. How you doing, babe? How you feeling?
Oh, I'm pretty good.
You pretty good?
I'm pretty good.
Pretty good?
Happy to help the people.
You're looking good.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well, thank you. I put in an effort for the people. I actually did. I don't normally do this much eyeshadow. And I looked in the mirror before with this dress and this beat face. And I was like, I feel like the aesthetic is sort of stripper who started getting ready for her shift and then realized that she had a PTA meeting. Like, that's the... There's a mismatch happening, but it's fine. It's fine.
Can attest. You were like, oh my God, I look like such a slut. And I'm like, yeah. More of this, please. All right. Are you ready? We're going to solve some people's problems.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right,
Let's
okay.
fix it. Let's fix it to the people.
All right, first one. Hi, gang. Recently, I found out my wife has been sleeping with her best friend on and off since they were both 19. Her friend, also female, 35, is also married. I'm heartbroken, but also very turned on. What do I do?
Oh, that's a hard one.
That's a tough one, right?
That's a tough one. Is she... Oh, look, dude, I'm going to be honest. This might be a situation to menage.
You reckon that this is a menage?
I think this might be a menage. This is either a let it go or a menage. It's clearly this.
Divorce not an option?
Yeah.
Do you have something you want to fucking tell me?
No, just in my mind, you know, it's like, hey, bitches be crazy. We know this, right? Everybody knows bitches be crazy. It's I don't know. I feel like when you're a lady of a certain age and a certain proclivity, and you haven't had the opportunity to
Once more, please, to the camera.
Skip. Sorry. It's gonna creep up on you, and you might as well. Like, hey, do you like the? What she hasn't told us is how happy is she in her existing marriage.
Well, this is a dude.
Yes. What he hasn't told us is how happy is she in her existing marriage.
Well, she can't be that happy, but also at the same time, on and off with her best friends since they were both 19 and they're currently in their 30s.
Oh, then they should 100% get married.
Yeah, I know, right?
They should 100% get married, no question.
Look, if it wasn't a long thing, I would actually agree with you. But like, hey, brother, fucking, let's see what we can do here. You know what I mean? Get some chips and dips. I don't know how you start orgies.
Is there definitely not chips and dips?
Is it hummus? I've been to a couple, never had the confidence to start one.
You rock it up late to the orgy is the Sam Bowden. He's like, I don't want to have to do any fluffing. I want the fluffing to be done by the time I get there. I want everybody to be raring to go. And that's fair.
If you arrive late, you can never come early.
What I'm hearing, Sammy, is that you're a lazy slut.
I'm a lazy slut. All right, okay, all right. My boyfriend of 8 months has just revealed to me that they have a foot fetish. I'm really not into it, but I did jerk him off once with my feet, and it flared up my sciatica. What do I do? By the way, I'm not sure. Has anyone... No, I'm not going to ask if anyone has a foot fetish. I feel sort of like weird about that because like it's one of the most common fetishes. It's a brain. It's so close in the brain, the two parts that the miswiring is very, very common. I don't have one.
That is how it works, though, apparently. The part of the brain that is... I told you this, didn't I?
I think you told me this.
Yeah, the part of the brain that is into feet. The part of the brain that controls the feet is right next to the part of the brain that controls the genitals. It's a very odd quirk of the human mind. So people who are into feet, it's actually genuinely just, apparently, the leading theory is that it's just a merging between those two parts of the brain. That causes a little bit of confusion. Now,
the medulla oblongatos. I don't care if you guys didn't like that. I fucking love that.
That might be the most intelligent foot fetish joke anyone's ever made.
Well, okay, let's put a hypothetical. Let's say 8 months into us being together, if I was like, I got a real thing for all the little piggies going to market. Like, that's my favorite thing.
The market is my butthole. You listen to that guy on that 70s show being like, I'm going to put a foot up your ass, and you're like, oh, yes, please.
Oh, yes, please. Just a big foot up.
Oh, yes, please.
What would you do? Like, if I was like 8 months, like, I just got a thing, like, would you be like, we'll make this work? Or would you be like, ugh?
Yeah, 100. It's inoffensive. This is the thing that's crazy to me. It's inoffensive, right? Objectively. It's like, I get it if it's not for you, but every once in a while, you just gotta go like it's fine. It's you just gotta give him the big toe that's sticking out from the tights. Sorry, I shouldn't have put that on the internet for free. That was honestly that was fiscally irresponsible what I just did. But it's
you can't give away those puppies for free,
I know,
man.
I'm
It's
so
mate.
sorry. There's a nude toe under this one if you want to pay an extra $5 to the Patreon. No, I just feel like I understand. Look, I understand if people are like, okay, I'm really into, I don't know, fucking you in the ear. It's like, that's going to be very uncomfortable for me, and I would prefer not to do it. If it's like, I just would like to jack off to your feet sometimes, we'll talk about it. If it's like, I just like to jack off to your feet sometimes, it's like, I'm just going to think about something else to be over here. Like, it's like, yep, cool, there we go, there it is. Have your fun, mate, go off. I don't know, it has the energy of a dog humping your leg, you know? It's like, this isn't for me, but it's completely ineffectual and it will affect me in no way. So, whatever, dude.
That's a very egalitarian approach to this. I respect that. I have something to tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Comedian Love Doctor. Give it up for Michelle Azevedo. Thank you very much. All right. We're going to take a nice little break and then we'll be back with the fantastic comedian. We'll see you soon. Welcome back to Last Month With. We have a very special guest comedian for you. I'm very excited for you to see him, not just because he has one of the coolest names I've ever heard in the world. Please give all the love for the fantastic Samwise Hemmings, everybody.
Hello, everyone. My name is Samwise. It's been said of me that I look like someone who has recently fallen down a hill. Well, I disagree with that, actually. I think I look more like someone who will kill again. To be honest with you, folks, I was asleep until very recently. I'm not fully convinced this is actually happening. A lot of people in my life think I'm paranoid. I think I'm just open to insidious possibilities. Like, I'm pretty sure that beautiful women deliberately fart near me in public, knowing that I look like the one who farted. People are there seem to be related to that. But no, someone always does. That's how I know that's true. So I've been trying to lose a lot of weight recently since I discovered that progressively heavier objects start to move when I lean on them. I've been trying out all the different diets, and while I'd love to recommend to you folks the halal beef snack pack keto diet, the diet I definitely had the most success with was the paleo diet. Anyone here remember the paleo diet? Yeah. If anyone's not familiar, the basic idea is you're going back to prehistory, right? Like, you're eating what the caveman ate. You're doing what the caveman did. I didn't really know where to begin. Basically, I just waited till my neighbor wasn't looking and I hit him in the head with a big rock. Anyway, it turns out his wife was on paleo. And she lives with me now. So that's worked out rather well. A friend of mine rang me recently. He's another comedian as well. He hasn't done comedy in a while. And he's telling me that he can only really write jokes when he feels like manically happy or severely depressed. And because currently his life is so like normal and healthy, and in his words, boring, he just doesn't have anything funny to say. Literally, the next thing he said to me in this conversation were the words, "So, my son's gotten me addicted to names." Which is very subjective, but personally I found that very funny. I told him to write it down, but but he was confused and distracted. He just had another name. The moral of this story is that you can pass off other people's content as your own without repercussion. Just so long as they're children, keep them subdued with names. I'm going to say one more thing, and then I was going to say leave immediately, but I think I'm contractually obliged to stay here. But I would say I socialize very widely, particularly in terms of age demographics. I think what I'm noticing is a lot of the younger folks that I know and friends with, they seem to see me as some kind of wise hermit-like figure. Whereas a lot of the older folks on there, they seem to see me as some kind of Wikipedia for the youth. Ask me all sorts of questions. But the younger folks, they'll come to me for advice on things like how to seem plausibly unemployable to the government. Or how to live comfortably without hope. Reasonable question. Whereas the older folks I know, they come to me with questions like, what are names? I don't know how to end this, so thank you. I've been Samwise Hamid.
Samwise Hamid, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, take a seat, my man. Great set. I'm going to shake your hand. Beautiful work. Dude, thank you very much for doing this. I have to ask, your name, Samwise.
Yes.
Your parents, I'm sure, are you sick of this question? This is a two-parter. A, are you sick of this question? And B, are your parents huge Lord of the Rings fans? What happened?
If I say yes to the first one, do I have to answer the second one?
I mean, I suppose not, but you will stifle the momentum.
Oh, right.
But you can say, yeah, I'm sick of this. Can we talk about something else?
Yeah, no. My dad is a proper Lord of the Rings nerd.
Yeah.
To the point where, is there any Lord of the Rings nerds in? Like, you've got some lore under your belt? Yeah?
Yeah, big time, yeah.
Do you know what the Ring of Barahir is?
Apparently, I don't have as much lore as your dad.
My dad got the Ring of Barahir is a ring. I can't believe I'm doing this. The amount that I've had to explain Lord of the Rings lore to people versus how much I actually give a shit is so wildly disproportionate. But no, so the Ring of Barahir is a ring that a guy, I guess Barahir, he died. And he gave it to a fella. He gave it to another fella. He gave it Aragorn. Aragorn had a special ring, and it was sick. It has two dragons coiled around an emerald, and that was like his birthright. And I think there's a thing where one of the evil dickheads in the thing is like, that's Aragorn because of the ring. Anyway, my dad has an actual gold emerald custom built by the guys that built the One Ring for the movie.
Holy shit!
Ring of Barahir. And just to give you an idea, my dad's like a farmer. He wears flannels. He looks like me, but bald and more Peter Dutton-esque.
Yeah.
And a good Peter Dutton. Yeah, he did.
Round of applause for alternate universe Peter Dutton. He never became a cop. He stayed on the farm. He's a good man. Nice. So, like,
I was just saying, my dad wearing this. You see him wearing the ring, and he looks like the coke dealer that the other coke dealers work for. You know what I mean? They've come to see him he's a millionaire now, so he doesn't have to do anything. He's just on a farm, and they've come to tell him, Jerry's dead.
Guys, man, that'll do it. One bag to rule them all. So sorry, dude. We'll move on really quickly. You moved down to Tasmania recently. Is your family from Tasmania?
No.
Oh, you just. What made you want to move to Tasmania?
Well, they all moved there during the plague.
Oh, the plague.
Yeah.
Okay,
and I was alone. I thought the world was ending. Did anyone else think the world might end? Yeah. Yeah. Some cynics up to that. Yeah, no, I thought it was ending and I was lonely, so I went down there.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
All right, and before we leave,
it's not very funny or interesting, but it is nice. It's nice that happened. Well, otherwise, I'd still be living here. And as you can see, this is not a nice. No. I mean, Tasmania, I basically live in a tent. So this is...
Yeah, fair enough. Well, now that you've slagged off Wollongong, and do you by any chance have a favourite news story of the last month, or are you just happy and content being in Tasmania, just watching the world go by?
Well, yeah. So this, I'm good at this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Samwise Heavy.
Is that actually how you think?
Beautiful work. I didn't mean to cut you off, by the way. We're just getting the rap fingers. Guys, we have another special guest for you coming back right after these YouTube messages. All right. Welcome back to the tail end of last month with it's me, Sam Bowden, and we have a very special guest for you to close out this show. So special, in fact, I had to write all of the questions and whatnot on card, and you're about to find out why. So I wanted to say this much: like, so much has been going on in the world, and I am like genuinely horrendously underqualified to talk about it. I have an arts degree. I had to count to 6 out loud the other day. But lucky for you and everyone else, my ambition greatly outweighs my intellect. I am a white man in his 30s. So I feel overly qualified to talk about nearly any subject with authority, which is why I'm laboring under the illusion that I can hold my own conversationally with our very special guest this evening. She is an Associate Professor of International Studies and Politics at the University of Wollongong. She's a published author and has contributed to so many academic studies in the field of political science that I'm worried we're going to lower her IQ just by being here. But I'm grateful she is. Please give a warm welcome to Professor Susan Engel, everybody! Beautiful!
Thank you very much.
First off, I wanted to say, Susan, that name pops up in Lord of the Rings, and I was wondering if... No. So I'm going to be honest with you. I am a little intimidated but excited by asking you these questions because I was going through some of sort of your academic work and papers and whatnot, and this word kept popping up that feels like deeply relevant to what is happening at the moment. And the word is retro-liberalism. Give us a chew if you've heard of the word retro-liberalism. Yeah, okay, perfect. I hadn't heard it either. I looked up the definition. It still didn't make sense. So I wanted to ask you, can you define retro-liberalism? And to quote a film about the GFC, please speak to me as you might a young child or a golden retriever. It wasn't brains that got me here, I can assure you of that. And can you also please rate my Jeremy Irons impression?
It's very good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Right.
It's not my way, the academic term. It was somebody else's that I borrowed.
Uh-huh.
But it's trying to understand where we are. You've probably heard of neoliberalism, right?
Yes.
The ideological project of small governments, free markets, free individuals, supposedly.
Yep.
Since the rise of China and the return, we feel like things have changed. The world doesn't quite look the state. Life the same. The state's a bit back in fashion. And so we're trying to think about what does the world look like? We've got this kind of new state capitalism. I'm not sure I love it, but it really does. Why it's really relevant to Australia is that the broader thing is about the political project behind it is really very much about the aim of the return of capital over the rights of labourers and workers. That was really the political project behind neoliberalism.
Right.
And it stayed under retro-liberalism. And it's really relevant to Australia today because it shapes what governments can do. So even though the kind of state's back in and we've got the Albanese government trying to run some vague industrial policy through, mostly through finance initiatives and a little bit through shitty military Keynesianism with the AUKUS submarines.
Yeah.
Really behind it, they're quite limited in what they can do because if they try and do too much, the petro mining state and interest that really controls Australia will get rid of them.
Right. So are we going backwards?
Yeah, look.
Oh, that's immediately bad. Like, immediately you're like, no hesitation. You're like, yeah, it's fucked. Shit's fucked. A professor is going, shit's fucked. We are.
Yeah, and I listened to this beautiful quote from Mark Twain the other day. It was the first time I'd heard it. History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. And Mark Twain was also the one who wrote about the Gilded Age, which was a term for the US of 1870s to 1890s, when America was at its peak in terms of political corruption, excess, materialism. And
Right.
we're back to that kind of era now.
Sure. Okay. How did
And
the
we-
Gilded Age end?
2 World Wars and the Great Depression.
Yay! Oh no! It's funny you bring up Albanese actually, because I had this question for you. You had this paper called "Challenging Economic Inequality," and let me tell you, as someone with an arts degree, that paper was in fact challenging for me. But the quote that really stuck out to me was, "Leaders of left-wing political parties who say they support a fairer society can be lured by the privilege of office and become far more conservative when they're elected. There's a long history of progressive parties and politicians failing to live up to it."
Yeah.
So, like, I feel personally that, like, the right-wing party in any country is, like, much more transparent with its evil. They're very much like, yeah, we don't like them, we're getting rid of them.
Yeah.
But, like, Albanese sort of campaigned on this sort of left-wing thing. He was, like, a council housing estate kid, pro-Palestine. He was a DJ. And now, which is, we all know, highly trustworthy people. But I feel like, and then he got into office, like, is that and it's been blunted, like, has that just been blunted? Is that like the trappings of the system? Is it not his fault? Or is he being like a really big pussy?
I'm so old, I'm pretty used to being disappointed by the Labor Party. But going back to my early comments, the the petrol and mining lobby that really, control the Australian state will get rid of any government in Australia that really challenges fundamental interests. We saw that in the 70s with the Liberal Prime Minister removed, John Gorton, and then, of course, the Whitlam dismissal that had the Americans and the British involved.
The mining conglomerates were involved in the Whitlam dismissal?
The interest, the corporate capital.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course. Sorry. Because in my head, because I have, my family is Welsh, British,
yeah.
And they were like, no, we got rid of him because he wasn't listening to the Queen. But of course it's more fucking complicated.
But the British did their bit. The Queen did her share of it too.
Yeah.
And Julia Gillard, most recently, with her mining tax, they got rid of her.
I had never joined those fucking dots.
So yeah, he looks like a bit of a pussy, but he's sort of like, do I get thrown out of a government or do I stand up to the corporate mining industries? And we know what he's chosen.
Yeah, sure. All right. Okay. Well, that's look, this isn't your fault, but that has thoroughly deflated the mood. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was like, fuck, you're bang on. That was you mentioned AUKUS before. And I just wanted a bit of a census. Can I have a cheer if you understand what the AUKUS deal is? Okay, sweet. 2 people. So I would love you to explain how the AUKUS deal sort of impacts us as a country, why we need a submarine. And I'm gonna listen to your answer from under the desk.
Oh, God. So it's $368 billion for 8 submarines that we probably ever won't get. We're paying the British $4.6 billion and the Americans $3 billion just to support their industrial base to maybe not build those submarines for us, but for somebody else. And they're attack class submarines trying to get us involved in a war with China. That's the short version.
Right. So,
and if the Americans have their way, the East Coast port for the submarines will be in Wollongong. But we know Wollongong won't let that happen.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
So, okay, if I may, where does France come into this?
I know you lied. That was Macron talking to Scott Morrison back in the day. He said, he called him out as a liar. So, yes, they got done over. when Morrison had a brain fart and decided he wanted to be America's toy boy rather than the French toy boy.
Do you think it would be more beneficial for us to sort of like, because what I'm sort of hearing, and only just, is that like we could have been France's bitch and burnt the money there, or we've just picked the States, either like.
Yeah, that was it. You got it.
So we don't really need this submarine.
France's bitch, like the Americans, that would be so much more fun.
Oh yeah, that country knows how to do a sub-dom relationship. So we don't need submarines.
Look, probably not. I think a lot of the new technology is going to get us away from it.
Yeah, okay, sweet. Magic. I was listening that whole time, but I'm really glad you said we don't need them because my back was getting very sore. Okay, so I have one more question and then we're going to play a fun little game. So there was another thing that I didn't understand that you wrote about called microfinancing, which I find very interesting. And I want to know if this is connected. So essentially, my dad used to say, so my dad was a broker. He's a finance broker, a mortgage broker, right? And didn't teach me anything about money. Mum's a pharmacist, a pharmacological lecturer, right? So I have a drug problem, but I can't afford the drugs. So my dad used to say this. He used to say, debt isn't a dirty word. Countries can't function without debt. And so what is curious about that is I have like this memory of being like 14 and every Thursday we'd have just like Woolies beef sausages and shitty mashed potato. Like it was just bad. And he was a good cook, but it was just really, really bad. And I remember asking him, like, can we please have something else? And he kind of snapped and he was just like, money's tight at the moment, right? This is just after GFC in 2007. Money's really tight. And then about 3 weeks later, he bought an Audi. And then I went, Dad, I thought you said money was tight. He was like, it's different. It's different. Is that the debt? Can you explain that to me?
I think you need to talk to a therapist about that.
Oh, shit. No one will help me with this. All right, sweet. So, Susan, I would like to play a fun game with you. So I understand that a lot of what we've been talking about and a lot of what's going on in the news, it doesn't have quick solutions. And all the issues we're facing as a nation, as a planet, are really complex. And the idea of like a quick fix, like it's not only unreasonable, but it's also like quite deeply immature. But what if we could solve it right now? Let's play a game. God, let's solve this right now. This is a game where I pitch you solutions to big world problems and you rate them on feasibility. So, some of these I think are doable. Some of them are just on a wish list. So, are you ready? The Middle East is a mess right now, but much of that area used to belong to the Holy Roman Empire. Should we just give it back to the Christians, and is it time for another crusade? You heard it here, folks. That was a yes. Sorry, I stitched you up there.
There's an old saying that maybe an old debate about whether a lot of the world's problems came down to the days when really gods became one god. But maybe it's just all gods. So maybe we need to go back before that even.
That's a really interesting point. There's this author called Tom Holland who has spoken a lot about that. Yeah. He's not Spider-Man. He's a historian. It's a common name for white British man. He's a historian. Yeah, I was talking about the change in moving to like a monotheistic religion enables conflict more than a multiplicity of gods. All right, sweet. So just get rid of gods.
But given the Israeli state has said that it has a 2,000-year-old claim to Palestine, the Palestinian people who are there, it might take them quite a while to give up their desire to stay in their homeland as well. So.
Yeah. All right, so not feasible?
Yeah,
not feasible. All right, okay, sweet. All right, this is kind of a genuine one. With the cost of living going up and the pension being scrapped, many of us are staring down the barrel of retirement poverty. What if everyone gets $5 in a high-interest bank account that can't be accessed until they turn 50?
So you've reinvented superannuation here.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that's not working, so no.
All right, okay. I suppose that answer probably covers putting a house on Afterpay.
Yeah, that Afterpay is almost as bad as microfinance. In fact, probably be worse. And microfinance, to go back to your early question, is small loans to poor people, and particularly poor women. Because supposedly in Wollongong, the risk they're reliable, repay shit, and at a really high interest rate. Yeah, I think that's the pathway to poverty.
Okay, that's fair. We are currently 0 for 3. Let's see if we can turn this round. We're trying. Okay, the world is at war and tensions are high. Can we make it mandatory for every world leader to smoke a fat joint once a week so they chill the fuck out?
Oh, you got me on that one, yes.
Yes, we yes! Yes, all right, we are 1 for 4. Beautiful. Okay, all right, so I have 2 more for you. When found guilty of inciting racism or terrorism against another ethnic group, your sentencing should include working at a restaurant that serves the cuisine of the people you attacked. For example, if you commit a hate crime against Indian people, you now have to do 20 hours a week at a dosa hut. Do you think that is a way that we could alleviate ethnic tensions?
I think you're on the track there. I think they need to do 60 hours to understand what it's really like to be a vulnerable migrant in Australia.
Ooh. All right, I reckon that's 2 out of 5. Okay. And the last one, the situation in Gaza is getting out of hand, to put it mildly. And every time the news comes on, we hear from Trump or Macron or the Irish. Has anyone thought about maybe getting the Germans to have a word with them?
So I don't know if you noticed my last name, Engel. It's a bit German.
Do you have an in with the government?
God, no. Yeah, they don't like me. But the problem with Germany since the war has been that they made it a whole part of their reason for statehood is to turn goes on. That supporting the Israeli state, they started making, first of all, secret reparation payments to the Israeli state not long after the end of World War II, and then it became public. And it's become so bound up in their idea of their justification for existing in the post-World War II era that the Germans are just...
Oh, they're in as deep as everyone else.
Oh, no, they're in deeper than everyone else. Yeah.
Hey, man, 2 out of 6 ain't bad. Susan, you've been fantastic. Round of applause, please, for Professor Susan Engel. Thank you very much. That has been last month with me, Sam Bowden. I hope you've had fun. I've had fun. Couple of plugs right at the end. Last month with is on every month here at the Side Door Theatre in Wollongong. Please follow the Side Door Theatre on socials and the Side Door Theatre and Last Month with channel on YouTube, where they'll be uploading every single episode, hopefully where you're watching this now. If you enjoyed me specifically, I have a podcast that is fun and equally as problematic as this show was, called Woll Free Lunch, WHOA, baby, Woll Free Lunch. And I have a show at the Old Fitz Theatre in November in Sydney called Don't Panic, It's Happened Before. It's a show about how history repeats itself, or indeed rhymes. And can I please have a big round of applause for everyone at the Side Door Theatre who makes this happen? Guys, this has been delightful. Thank you very much. See you later. Bye.